welcome back to the channel. My name is Alan, this is my life in Taiwan, and my life in England for the past few weeks is coming to an end. I'm heading back to Taiwan, so it's time for me to say goodbye to my mum. Kiss. Hold that for us. Woo! How many times have we done this?
Oh, I hate it.
It's alright, I'll be back. George, love you, mate.
Love you.
Look after everyone for us.
I will.
And Daddy is the taxi driver.
Yeah, so we won't hug yet.
Yeah, we will say goodbye to my dad at the airport. But we've got a hot drive up the M56 to Manchester Airport, so let's get that done. One more kiss. Love you.
Stay safe.
Will do. Thanks for all the food. I think I put on about an extra 5 kilos, so I've got to get that shifted when I get back to Taiwan. That's bye, Georgie.
Bye.
See you later, mate.
Love you.
Love you. Set him out.
For half an hour long, be about an hour and a half, something like that. Hopefully.
You got everything, Alan.
Yeah.
Love you. Ta.
Love you, ta. Ooh, scorch ya.
Not half.
Oh,
Look at it, eh?
bye. Right to you.
All right, bud.
Time to say ta-ra. Thanks for having.
All right. Yeah, great. Might see you in 20 minutes. Might see you in 6 months, whatever. You've been good. Have a lovely journey, mate. Love you.
Look after yourself.
And you.
Let's go.
Get that camera.
Okay, so we've said goodbye to my dad, but as you may have heard, the plan is to get my flight changed because I don't have to be back in Taiwan for another week or so. So I've been trying to get this f***ing wheel. I've been trying to get in touch with the airline to change my flight, but I can't get in touch with the agent in Taiwan. So I'm going to ask them now if I can change my flight. Wish me luck. I want to stay a few more days in England. I'm booked on to the Istanbul flight today, and I'm going on to Taiwan, to Taipei. Now I've been trying to get in touch with the agent to change my flight and move it to later in the week. I don't know if I can I do that?
The agency, but no, I'm not touching.
So, as you may or may not have noticed, the girl at the desk told me impossible to change the flight to later in the week. Bit disappointed as I really wanted to have a few more days with family. I should have booked a longer trip, but just because the time with family is so precious, but never mind. I think this video is going to continue in Taipei. Yes, I have arrived back in the motherland, so to speak, after probably what is the worst couple of flights of my life. And on the flight from Turkey to Taipei, I was expecting it to be empty. I thought there was no people flying into Taiwan, but no, it was absolutely packed. Seemed to be full of European engineers who are not the smallest people in the world, and I was stuck between two of those for the 12 hours. Absolute nightmare. But anyway, let's go through Taiwanese quarantine. Okay, so originally this video was filmed with the plan of showing you my quarantine experience in detail. But as I'm so late with publishing it, every man and his dog has already published a quarantine video, so I'm not sure you all want to see another one. So while my quarantine experience at the airport was very smooth, with all the staff speaking English,
Okay, please. Just the right side.
I am instead going to make this video a little more personal and talk about the extreme emotional challenges faced by a trip home and how every time I make the journey from west to east back to my Taiwanese home, I need to ask myself, where exactly is my home? And the answer may surprise you. We'll get into that a little bit later because despite the smooth quarantine procedure at the airport... So this is after I get my luggage, after everything?
Yes.
Okay.
This, when you're quarantine.
Okay.
Not now, yeah.
Okay. The baggage procedure had gone wrong and I was missing one of my bags. I'm starting to worry about my second bag. I've picked up my first bag, the suitcase with all my gifts in for my friends, but I've got a second bag, hold all with all my clothes inside, and it's not showed up yet. And we've been queuing for an hour and a half. It looks like that one, but it's not that one. Where are my clothes? So after giving it another 20 minutes or so, it was clear my second bag was not coming out, so it was time to go talk to somebody, make some kind of report. 你好，我的行李不见了，有一个到了，一个没到，可是这个有，
然后这个没有。
这个不见了，这个是小宝宝的。
And a quick warning, lots of terribly spoken Chinese coming up from yours truly.
什么颜色的？
灰色。
灰色，然后
可是我等快到1个小时
都没有看到。
So after asking me a few questions and after double checking the luggage carousel one more time to check I wasn't being an absolute idiot.
比这个大。
比这个大。
对。不是那个，是灰色的。
The very helpful Miss Lin filled out all the necessary forms for me, and despite telling me she had no idea where in the world my bag might be,
你知道包包在哪里吗？我还没知道。
还不知道，我们要帮您找一下，帮我这边圈起来的地方签名这边。
好。
she told me somebody would be in touch if and when my bag was found.
Okay. 谢谢你。Bye bye. Okay, so all the paperwork is filled out for the lost bag. No idea what's going to happen, but do have to say, Lin Xiaojie, incredibly helpful. Anyway, now it's time to get to that deep throat testing.
So yes, the first stage of the quarantine process was this deep throat PCR test, and as I said, I'll spare you the rest of the details of my 3+4 quarantine, but safe to say the whole quarantine process from the airport into the quarantine taxi system all the way back to Taichung into my apartment went quite smoothly, especially thanks to Uber Eats and my extra helpful Guanli Yuan being able to deliver me food to my door for the 7 days.
Hello, Aaron.
But I'm sure you're all most excited to know what happened to my bag.
Well, as I said earlier, I really want this video to focus on the challenges that I face having 2 different countries that I call home, rather than focusing on the specific details of quarantine that has been done to death by everybody in videos over the past few months. But first of all, I'll resolve the bag issue because it's not as straightforward as you think. First of all, on day 1 of my quarantine, I received this phone call telling me
您的行李有找到，然后预计明天的土航2次会送回来到桃园机场。
Oh, nice. Yep, please excuse the fact that I was in bed when I received that phone call and whipped my camera out relatively quickly. But yes, in that phone call, she told me that I'd receive my bag within a day or 2. And then after a couple of days, I received another phone call.
今天的 Turkish Airlines 没有送你的行李回来耶。
Oh my god.
So my bag was somehow missing again, and I was told that they'd be putting it on a flight to Taipei as soon as they found it. Therefore, when I received another phone call on day 4 or 5 of my quarantine, I was hoping for some good news.
我们今天收到你的行李。
Yay!
是一个袋子，银色的袋子。
So yes, the bag was found safe and sound in Istanbul, sent to Taipei, and arrived safely at my apartment the very next day. Bag saga finished. So I want to say thanks to everybody that was involved in finding my bag, especially thanks to Miss Lin for being so patient with me at Taipei Airport. But yes, as you can see, I'm now out of quarantine, enjoying the freedom that Taiwan offers to all of its citizens and residents alike. And I'm ready to get to that question I asked in the title of the video: where is my home? And I think this is a question that's asked by foreigners, not only in Taiwan, but anyone that chooses to leave their original birth country and set up a life overseas. It's really difficult to put it into words how you can feel home between 2 different countries, but I really want to try and sum it up and try to get some of the Taiwanese people that have maybe never lived overseas to understand how foreigners here in Taiwan can call Taiwan their home, but still not abandon the feeling of their home country wherever they originally come from. Now, as is usual in these kind of videos, when I start talking about things like this, I've come up with a couple of different ways of defining what is home and what a place needs to offer you or give you in order for you to call it a home. And the thing that first came to mind is that when I lived in England, which was only until I was 24, I always felt like England was out to take from its people. And what I'm talking about there is primarily taxes and the cost of things and parking fines. Just general day-to-day life in England always felt like I was giving back to the country, that England was taking from me. Whereas here in Taiwan, I really feel like Taiwan is offering me opportunity. Taiwan is giving me the freedom to do what I want to do and be independent and set up my own business, whether it's here on YouTube or in English schools in the future maybe, who knows? Your home should be somewhere that gives you something. As a country, I really feel like England isn't in the business of giving back to its citizens and allowing them the chance to flourish and thrive. I may be way off. There's probably a lot of people in England that do very well and thrive and flourish as UK citizens, but I feel like I do better financially and career-wise here in Taiwan. I've said it before, but the opportunities Taiwan has given me is something I'll always be thankful for. And on that regard, I would say that Taiwan is more like a home, just as a country. I'm not talking about my family home. If my mum's watching, don't get upset. That's my family home, so don't worry about that. And the third thing I'm going to talk about is growing older. I've just hit 40 years old, believe it or not. And as you start to get older, I think home is a place you gravitate towards. I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, but of course, in that time of my life, as I get older, I would feel that it's more important to be surrounded by close family members. Of course, most of my family members are all in England, so I should feel like a pull or a gravitational movement towards the UK. But at the moment I don't, and if I do get sick or I do grow old very quickly, I think I would rather be in Taiwan. I feel much more confident and comfortable here. So in summary, let's just say that the UK will always be a safe haven or a refuge for me to head to in times of trouble, whatever those times of trouble may be. But I feel safer in Taiwan. I know the Taiwan of today much better than I know the UK of today. And it just feels right to say that Taiwan is my home. Not that that makes it any easier to leave when I say goodbye to my parents, as I did at the start of this video, and also how difficult it is for my mum. As you heard when I was saying goodbye, she quite clearly said how much she hates it. And as a parent myself to William, I can fully empathize with my mum and my dad on how difficult it is to live so far away from the people that you brought into this world. I do sometimes hate my situation, having my loved ones spread so far and wide across the world, but I also know that you can't pick and choose the people or the places that you fall in love with. If the same thing happens again and a person from another far-flung exotic country around the world walks into my life and I fall in love with them, I won't allow those previous experiences to affect the way that I feel about that person. I'll just jump in with 2 feet and maybe set up a life in a new country somewhere else around the world. Who knows? But yes, I think that's enough. I think I've kind of summarized it as well as I can. Of course, everybody is going to have their own opinions. Please feel free to comment down below if you're in my situation. I know a lot of Taiwanese people around the world watch my videos. So yeah, where do you feel more at home? Are you more at home in the country you've chosen, or do you feel more at home when you return home to Taiwan to visit? Let me know down below. I think this video has gotten long enough already, but I want to say thanks so much to you guys for watching. Thanks to my parents for a beautiful trip in England. I'm sorry I live so far away, but I'll be back soon as always. So it's time for me to say goodbye. So as found, as always, I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye.